If you're new to this site, it is called the Thoughts of Microdac. I use flowers to distract you as I suggest things to think about. The idea being that I think every adult, should think for himself or herself. For example, I read somewhere, I can't remember where, that Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "I like Christ. I do not like Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ." And I couldn't get that quote out of my head. Then I thought, do Christians believe anything of substance, or do they just go along to get along? Do they believe anything so long as they are not asked to think for themselves? Here's a game for Christians. Others can play along if they want to, of course. There are 20 statements. Of the 20, how many do you personally actually believe to be true? Are you ready? Here we go. Jesus did not organize a church on earth. Jesus' church was an organization of divine ideas for abundant living, which is an exact science. Statement number 2. God is not a being with many parts, but a being with potentialities. God does not have what we want, He is what we want. Statement number 3. Man is created in the image of God. Man's unfoldment to happy and abundant living depends not on his becoming something different from that which he is, but in being what he is to the fullest extent. Statement number 4. Jesus and Christ are not synonymous terms. Jesus is the man who demonstrated his God-likeness to the fullest extent, and thus put on the Christ. Christ is not a person, but a principle of divine sonship. Statement number 5. The keynote of the Christian teaching is, and I quote, "Christ in you, the hope of glory." We must clearly distinguish between God's man, the Christ, which is perfect and complete, and Adam's man, the human man, which is in a state of becoming. Statement number 6. Mind is the connecting link between God and man. Our mind is our world. Our thoughts are the tools with which we carve our life story on the substance of the universe. When we rule our thoughts, we rule the world. Statement number 7. In self-unfoldment, 2 handles to power most needful are the use of denials to wipe out of our mind the mistaken beliefs of a lifetime, and affirmations to build truth principles into our consciousness. Statement number 8. Prayer is not something we do for God, but something we do for ourselves. Communion with God is turning at the point of human limitation to the point of supreme limitlessness. Prayer is silent communion with God. Statement number 9. Through the strengthening of faith, man opens unto himself an added dimension of infinite possibilities for abundant living. Faith is a spiritual perception of one's good even before good is manifest. Statement number 10. Words are the most powerful agents of mind. Every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Statement number 11. Life is consciousness. Man demonstrates the limit of his consciousness. The only way we can have more is to increase our consciousness. There is no abrogation of this law. Statement number 12. Man tends to become centered in things of the world, but Jesus taught, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added." We must seek the inner realization of our oneness with God, and then rightly use this consciousness in what we think, in what we say, and what we do. Statement number 13. The object of man's existence is the development of his soul. Any attainment, either mental or material, that cannot be associated with and counted as an aid toward man's soul development will ultimately be refused. Statement number 14. In his spiritual ongoing, the truth student reaches a point when, like Jesus, his master and teacher, he must call to himself his own 12 apostles, his own 12 faculties of mind, that they may be trained to function more righteously. Statement number 15. There is no instant when a person should withhold love through unforgiveness. When you withhold love, you retard the action of the mighty healing, prospering, and redeeming power. Statement number 16. There is no power and no reality in sin. Sin is its own punishment, and righteousness is its own reward. Each man is equipped with the power to think and live aright, but through the use of his inner power, he must work out his own salvation. Statement number 17. Health and perfection are the divine rights of man, God's changeless will for his creation. No matter what condition, you can be healed if you will accept completely the truth idea of one perfect creator and one perfect creation. Statement number 18. Prosperity is God's will for man. You'll be prosperous if you increase your consciousness of God as your unfailing supply and expand your vision to behold yourself as being unlimited in any way. Statement number 19. There is no such thing as getting something for nothing. We must give full measure for all that we receive. As you sow, so shall you reap. Give, and he shall receive. Finally, statement number 20. Man was not born to die, but to live, and to progress toward the goal of perfection. The death experience lies in the consciousness of man and not in the will of God. Of the 20 statements, how many did you actually believe to be true? Of these statements, did you believe strongly in any of them? Which statements would you say are false? Caused you to think, right?